Hey guys, my name's Ren. Welcome back to another Sims 4 build episode. In this episode, we are doing yet another speed build simply because I am very busy with work this week and it's just been crazy. So, speed builds are usually my go to when I'm in a bit of a pickle with time, so to say, simply because I can space out when I'll build it. I don't have to do it all in one day, and it's easier for me to focus, kind of also go back and forth with ideas. And this idea is one of them. It actually came out of a conversation I once again had with my best friend asheryve on the gallery. If you want to check her out, I highly encourage you to do so. And she suggested that while I'm still in this kind of cottagey vibe, that I should try and make a house in the shape of a barn. So I took it basically a step further and decided to go with a barn shell, as you can see, but not necessarily in a cottage style, but in a more modern twist. I used a lot of items from the industrial loft kit simply because I am in love with the items that are there, and I thought it would be a nice kind of way to try and combine the two. So yeah, I was doing just that. The stairs here, as you can see, are giving me some issues. Strictly because I didn't know how I wanted them to look like, because there were kind of issues with the upstairs being only 3 spaces wide, so that's also something I had to take into consideration. And initially I wanted to put the kitchen in that corner, but I ended up like walling it and fencing it off and making the kitchen over on here. I tried using the industrial looking counters, and I wanted to go with one of the new swatches that they added into the game with I think the most recent update, but I honestly don't know if this is an old or a new swatch per se. So yeah, I still went with the kind of dark brown and black tones because I do believe they look the nicest and have this kind of modern vibe to them. And I thought it would look very nice with the flooring as well. This table from the industrial loft kit is probably one of my favorite items to pick when it comes to kind of modern builds, just because it has that how to explain it. It's rustic and it's modern at the same time, especially with this kind of old wood pattern that I decided to go with, as well as the wallpaper. The wallpaper also has the same vibe, very rustic looking, but also kind of very modern. And the same goes for the floor. That's from Jungle Adventure. That's also one of my go-to floorings whenever it comes to any type of build, really. And yeah, I'm trying to kind of find spaces where to put images, but I eventually discovered that there is no way I can fit almost any images there. I tried to, but it didn't really work out, just because the entrance door is so wide. But I really wanted to go with that simply because it looks very barn-like, but also has, again, that modern vibe I really wanted to go with. And this space over on here that you see me try and fix the roof for is also something I was initially, at least, struggling with, simply because I didn't really know what to do with it. I did want to have this extension, and I wanted to have it just because it looked nicer. The lot didn't look as empty, and it kind of had that really nice feel for it. Like in the entire build really looked nice with it, and I really initially didn't know what to do with it, but you will see later on in this speed build that I decided to go with a massive winter garden. And honestly, cluttering with plants is probably one of my favorite quote-unquote pastime activities in the Sims, so I chose to go with kind of very bright and colorful carpets just to have like this almost peaceful oasis. And still unable to decide what I exactly wanted to go with, I focused on the bathroom and stairs instead. My goodness, English is hard sometimes. Yeah, I did go with I think this is from Spade and also from Dream Home Decorator. I do believe these two packs really go well together, and I really like how they kind of have this synergy. I also added a shelving unit, I believe, from what was it? I think it's from the I really can't remember the name of the pack now. That's embarrassing. The one that adds being able to wash clothes. Goodness gracious. Laundry day. There we go. It only takes 10,000 years for me to remember. But yeah, I'm currently cluttering up the bathroom, just adding bits and pieces there, here and there, and I decided to go with the blue and yellow tones. And this is the moment I realized that my stairs were missing for some reason, so I just re-added them, and I tried to clutter it up more with plants just to have it going for me, but sadly it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. And I was also struggling with the curtains for these like large windows from the mosquito pack, so I decided to add these curtains from Island Living, and just to hide the like overlappings, I added I think it's called the barn like roof support or something like this, from the like roof extensions and roof clutter, to have like a way to hide it and also have a separation there, and also a bit of accentuation in the whole room. I also added this arch from Island Living. I thought it would go very well, kind of keeping that rustic feel, but also having this modern vibe to it. I added a bookshelf because initially I wanted it to be a reading corner, but I decided against it while I was just cluttering it up with plants. And like I said, that's probably my favorite pastime activity at this point, just clutter everything with plants, because Sims 4 has an amazing collection of plants that work so well with these, especially with the style I was going for. So this is kind of like maybe half boho, half modern, I would dare say. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I would really like to know more about these different styles. It's kind of hard for me to differentiate certain styles from others. But yeah, cluttering with plants is going on on a very large scale over here. And again, when I can, I'm just choosing the wood to look really rustic, just to add that more barny and cottagey feel without necessarily having too many like older looking items to go with that. And here and there I'm also adding plants and also hanging plants from Nifty Knitting, because yeah, Nifty Knitting is also one of my favorite packs, not just because of all the knitting stuff you can do, but also because of these hanging planters. And you have so many variations, you have so many options to play around with them, and it's just I could gush about that the whole time. So yeah, I'm still kind of just doing bits and pieces here and there before eventually moving towards the bedroom that I've been kind of scared of doing, just because I knew I wanted to have a double bed but didn't necessarily know how to make it work. And I also kind of wanted to have that lofted style with like a section of part where you can look down, but also didn't know how it would look like. So yeah, I was kind of struggling with that, especially here, because I knew I wanted to have like a space for the bed, for a computer, and also for a wardrobe. But again, it's a very small space. You see, the bed barely fits in. I don't even know if this is fully functional. And yeah, once I placed the bed in, I realized that it's not going to work out at all, just because the space is so narrow, it's so tight. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's not gonna work at all, and I need as much space as I can get, just so I have more space for what I actually need and want to have in this room. So yeah, this room, I kind of initially wanted to go with just something simple, but in the end I kind of decided to go with more. I wanted to go more towards the modern aspect again, so I just chose this Dream Home Decorator desk, the like pinboard, as well as the computer, and just got an eco lifestyle chair from Debug. And yeah, the everlasting struggle with the wardrobe there is unreal, just because I didn't know what I exactly wanted, and I also didn't know how to kind of tie the whole room in, because I was missing a rug, and finding a rug so narrow and in a way that it fits nicely and it has a nice pattern is almost impossible. So there was quite a bit of a struggle before I decided to go with the eco lifestyle fabricated rug. In the end, I just sized it down, moved it a bit, and did nothing else. I also didn't decorate too much on the upstairs, just because of the lack of room. I just added this plant over there and went back to kind of decorating the winter garden, because that's obviously my favorite place in the whole area. And then I decided to go ahead and clutter the kitchen, just kind of do what I was putting off the entire time, because the kitchen and cluttering it up usually takes up the majority of the time. I also wanted to add a lot of pipes, but didn't know how to exactly incorporate them into the build, so I just ended up using that one single pipe from, I do believe, City Living. So it's just there, kind of looking sad and lonely. But again, it's kind of working out, because it's not in a way you don't really see it, but it adds to the aesthetic. It adds a bit of that industrial feel, and I do believe it's not really an issue for it to be there, because you do need to have ventilation, and the windows are just not gonna cut it, at least not completely. But yeah, I didn't want to overdo it with the clutter too much. I kind of wanted it to keep simple, says the person who just cluttered up the entire room with plants. But that's just the way it is. And this room also, I didn't really know initially what to do with it, so I was kind of putting it off before I just added the sectional couch from Dream Home Decorator and added a couple of images, I do believe, from Tiny Living. These leaf ones are obviously my go-to. And we're finally moving towards the outside. I wanted to initially go with the cottage living terrain paint, but realized that unlike the tiles, it doesn't have any color variations and I couldn't really use it, so I just went ahead and used another one. I don't even remember from which pack it is. And yeah, this is just my standard cluttering up with plants on the outside. Whoever watched any of my videos knows that I really put emphasis on the flowers and the greenery, general greenery on the outside, because I love making exteriors, probably even more so than interiors, to be honest, at this point. But yeah, just give me debug, give me plants, and I will make something really nice happen. This is also something unusual for me because I tend to not have any like furniture towards the facing the front of the house, like facing the street, but I decided to be a bit adventurous and go with just that. So I decided to make a yard facing the front and basically add just a small grill, a table, and that's about it. I also used a lot of debug items from Cottage Living, as you can see, just because, again, it's my favorite, and I do believe that they offer, like, the debug items offer really a lot of good opportunities, and basically they make everything look more alive, especially the little, like, grass. The little grass is really a nice touch, so it's like half mown, half not mown. And yeah, I also went ahead and not redecorated, but added more plants on the back and on the side, but not all that much because I, again, didn't want to overdo it, but ended up overdoing it anyway, especially with these little flowers. But I do believe it really looks cute. It's nothing too big, it's nothing too complicated, but it does have this nice rustic touch on the outside, and then on the inside when you come in, it's just like a slap in the face with all the modern stuff. And who I pictured living here is a young couple who wants to live on the countryside but also get everything and experience everything modern as well. I should also probably mention that I am currently building this lot on the 20 by 15 lot in Hanford on Bagley. I think that's the only lot that size. Yeah, it's in the town center, but all in all, it really works well with the surrounding areas because there's a lot of cottages, a lot of like little farmsteads, so I thought I would give it a shot and just make it there. It's also a very simple, very kind of basic build, and yeah, we are nearing the end of the video, so thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this little farm build that I did, the little barn house, if you will. In case you did like the video, don't forget to like, maybe even comment, let me know your opinion on it. I would really like some suggestions as well if you have any. And also, if you like this content or generally the content I put out on my channel, maybe even subscribe, maybe even hit the little bell icon next to the subscribe button just to be notified whenever I upload another video. In case you want to follow me on my socials, you can follow me on Twitter at RheaPlaysYT. You can follow me also on Instagram at RheaPlays. Or if you want to follow my Simstagrams for all things Sims related, my Simstagram is simbuildsbyrhea. If you want to download this barn house or any other build I upload, you can find me on the gallery under bewitchedbystars. And I do believe that's about it. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!